Hello, hi everyone. I don't. One of the fun things about hybrid events that we have an opportunity to present, but we don't have an option to see everyone. So I was wondering if people who are in the room can say hello and say their names. So I know who I'm talking to, and maybe say what you would like to get from this session. I'm going to start with introductions, and then Philip, if you are moderating, maybe you can help people in the room to um, introduce themselves. So I'm Irina Zaks. I'm web developer and open source evangelist, and I worked with Drupal for over 15 years, and I worked with Backdrop, and I worked with WordPress, and I'm building websites for higher ed and academia. We build research tools and we build websites both. And since last October, I'm working with Drupal Association on GitLab Acceleration Initiative that will help Drupal developers use all components of GitLab, including issues, CI tools, in addition to code already being on GitLab. And I would like to convert this session into a BOF session from pure slides. So I hope that you can introduce yourself, say what you hope to get from this session. I will present some of the slides. Some of them are from presentation at DrupalCon. Some are new. And if you say what we want to get from this session, we can move conversation that direction.
Great. And there's also a chat too for virtual attendees as well. So we'll keep an eye on that as well for any questions or introductions. We could also do that all just via chat if you want to.
That would be lovely.
Yeah. Yep. Is there anything in particular that you wanted to ask Irina to touch on for? Okay. So anything that you can bring back to the team that would for like a CI process, CI to GitLab? Yeah. All right. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. I think Irina, one of the points that was brought up was just seeing what the Drupal CI process to GitLab looks like, and we do have lots of people who are new to Drupal, so maybe what would be some good first steps, to start that process off.
Totally. Okay. Well, thank you very much. I can see there's Greg and Wes. Hi. I know, for personal names, some names. Again, I'm very sorry that I'm not there in person, don't have an opportunity to meet you like 3D, but I'm always happy to connect anytime over Drupal, Slack, or on Zoom to talk more about topics that I don't cover today. So first I'm going to talk about what are implication of moving from Drupal code from Drupal. So let me restart. Okay, I'm going to read slides out loud, and if you have questions, I configured my screen so I can see chat, so I will be able to see your questions in chat as well. This session is targeted for contrib modules because we experimented with different opportunities, whether we wanted to do core transition first or contrib module first, and it turns out that there's a lot of questions that can be answered at the same time. There is Greg, to answer your question about security team flow, we looked at lots of different options on how to build issues and testing for security specifically, both for Drupal 7 and Drupal 9. I didn't include it in this presentation because it's more general, but I'll be more than happy to connect and show what's in the works. And I would love to hear your feedback so Drupal Association team can work more efficiently addressing these questions. The security flow for security team workflow with new issues and testing. So these are questions for the both, and we would love to hear your feedback either here in this session at the end of the session or in GitLab channel on Drupal Slack, because that's where most of discussions are happening. Quick introduction, GitLab Acceleration Initiative is second phase of development tools initiative. Code base is already on GitLab, and we're going to talk about what will be moving to from Drupal.org to GitLab next. Code is already there, and right now we completed alpha, and modules who want to build CI on GitLab can request that that this will be set for them. We're not opening it for all modules until we have established template. And then the next part that we're working on moving issues, and we're doing it with collaboration between Drupal Association, GitLab, and community. So thank you to everyone who participated, who made this possible. And next step in the process now is issues migration from from Drupal.org to GitLab for contributed module. This is example of what is in development right now, and this is how issues look now. This is what they will look on Drupal on gitlab.org.
Sorry, Irina, can you actually like present your slideshow and like zoom in just a little bit so we can see those thumbnails a little bit better?
These are screenshots, so this is where the presentation of those thumbnails.
Okay,
yep,
gotcha.
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's why I didn't want to zoom in. So I don't know if it will be recorded, but I think there's a link to this video on Drupal.org in one of the issues. And this is what Fran is building right now. So this part of the recording shows current setup for issues on Drupal.org. And this is example of one issue that is right now currently on Drupal.org. And then there's a series of steps that are described here, different examples of attached patches, files, comments, and all the other components that we have in various issues, because some issues have, just text, and the other issues have more components. Then I'm going to skip this part, and this is the result of the script that it has written. And the script takes everything from Drupal.org, and this is what it will look like in GitLab once this is done. This is in the works right now. It is not completed, and then there is an issue on Drupal.org where you can comment with your suggestions, recommendations, things that you find, and you can also contribute to this issue if you want to. And because for some reason I couldn't share the full window, I will have to jump back and forth. And this is the issue where this is all happening. So once this is done, The next thing that happens is that process of creating forks will change, because right now the only way to create a fork is through GitLab UI, and once issues are on GitLab, you will have all the GitLab tools that you need to create branches, and there's like several entry points. We're preserving working in the shared workspace by default, and it has been tested right now. The major change is that we can't use Drupal CI with GitLab out of the box. So GitLab CI will be replacing Drupal CI altogether, and it's a great thing because now we can use lots of tools that are available to everyone, and there's also a limitation. We can't completely customize it like it was on Drupal.org, but hopefully as community develops knowledge and understanding, we can optimize this process as well. So this is example of what GitLab CI looks like. Every maintainer will have to add the template, and there are different ways to do it. You can either include existing template, or you can write your own template. So now everyone has more flexibility. Drupal CI will not be triggered at all after issues are migrated. And this is an example of how things are going to be transferring. So right now we have this tab where you can configure whatever you can configure which environments you want to test and how often. Instead of that, this will all be written in GitLab CI YAML, which removes UI, but gives you flexibility to test the way you want. So there is a learning curve, and plan is that there will be, for those who want to use default template and just test with whatever you want, it will be there. And those who want to customize, it's much easier for them to do that. We have example of implementation in Gin project. So this is old test results. So these are familiar screens. Like this is an issue. If there's a merge request and it's mergeable, it will be green. If there's merge request and it's not mergeable, it's going to be red. And then if you have patches, there are indicators that patch either passes the tests or not. And then you could get to Drupal CI results clicking through the links provided on both pages. And this will be replaced by testing in GitLab CI. So this is what it looks like in GitLab. So one thing is you will see that your CI tab is enabled. And when you're requesting the merge, you will be running the pipeline. And you can see what is happening in the pipeline. You can see results of your tests in the, by clicking through, you get results of your test. You can see whatever artifacts you said you want to preserve. You can say for how long you want to keep them there. And it also gives you a full report of the tests. Here is the one that failed, or you can open it in the new tab and see the full report with all the details. So the goal of this is to show you capabilities of GitLab CI and what you can expect. It is new for lots of people, but there's also lots of people who are already using it. And we have number of implementations, and I'm going to talk about it in a minute. one super important thing is that patches are not tested in GitLab, so workflow should change. There are conversations of how to save patches or preserve patches or how to work around them. And again, discussions are in GitLab channel, and there are a couple of approaches that hopefully will work well. So when people are transitioning from Drupal CI to GitLab CI, they're disabling a CI for contrib projects in the automated testing tab. We have examples of how people are using GitLab CI not just for pure testing, but for some additional tasks. Here is a list of examples. And I want to thank you, early adopters of GitLab CI program, and contributing knowledge back to community. Here's how you can help. Please review meta issues, join us in conversations, and your feedback is greatly appreciated, whether positive or negative. Here I put together various links that were useful to me when I was learning GitLab features, and I'm still learning them. It is a very interesting learning curve that opens a lot of new tools. And this is where I want to turn it into question and answers. I'm going to stop sharing so I can see you all. And I would love to invite people to join the channel and ask your questions both in chat or through audio video. Any questions so far? What tested? The question in chat is, what testing tools do you use during the CI process? I'm not 100% sure where to start answering this question. So GitLab testing is built in YAML files. And here are, let me share my screen again.
So GitLab itself is the testing tool. You don't use like Cypress or PHP unit or any of that when the CI process is building?
Yes, so this is...
Oh, wow. That's cool.
So GitLab CI is replacing something like Circle CI.
Yeah.
Or had or older tools. And I won't be able to answer how Circle CI compares to Drupal CI, to GitLab CI. But GitLab CI is complete test suite. So you can build everything that you need with GitLab CI, and it is huge.
Yeah.
And I hope that, hold on. So this is one one of examples of how you are supposed to build it. And in my presentation, there's a reference to a couple of, one of links is video link that I enjoyed watching. It was very very simple,
syntax errors. It will let you know at the top of the page here that.
Okay, this is not what I wanted to show, but as soon as ad is over, I found this video which was very comprehensive because it was very much for beginners. And I think that's one of the things that we might need for a community, for people who don't know. It's not.
Could you share that URL, the YouTube URL,
yes.
in the chat? that would be awesome. Yeah.
Yes, I can. Okay, hold on. Okay, stop sharing. One thing I want to do is I want to not close accidentally wrong tab. So this is linked to URL, and this is linked to the page in the presentation that has all the links. Because there was like number of different links that I found useful. For me, I was learning GitLab Ci kind of from scratch, and it gives you step-by-step explanation of like, this is how you set environments. This is where you can set up triggers, whether you trigger it on commit or you trigger on, something else, how to build schedule. And beauty of GitLab Ci that you don't have to have separate like scheduling tool and testing tool. It's all in one. And it all comes in YAML files. And we have great examples of, I want to especially thank Drupal Spoons project. They built the template that lots of other modules has tested, and you can simply include it, and it works very well. Like, for example, one of my projects we were testing with GitLab, with Drupal Spoons testing. Let me find the page where I have this listing. Okay. So this is, so KeyCDN is the project that is using share screen, Chrome tab, KeyCDN. So the KeyCDN project is one of projects that is using Drupal Spoons CI. So if from here I go to source code, and in the code now we have this GitLab CI YAML file, which every country project will have in the root of directory. And people are not you don't have to write completely your own GitLab CI YAML. You can include default template. And in default template, you can, and it can be local or remote, because I've seen people including all kind of things. And this is where you set, like you said, variables, you said matrices, that you want to test. Like this is what this particular script is testing. You set how long to keep artifacts. You specify which scripts you want to run, and all the other settings. And if you want to write your own, you can write your own, or you can use default. And you can also do smaller overrides. Some people will just override just one part. Does this answer the question?
Yes, thank you. Can you use other tools in the CI process? So like maybe visual regression testing tools, for instance?
I am not really expert at this point on all this combination. My guess would be most likely yes.
Yeah.
But I won't be able to explain how to do that.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. No. Yeah. It's perfect. Mm-hmm. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. How did you start? I guess how did you start using the GitLab CI process?
I am not expert in GitLab CI, so for my own module, I'm a maintainer of co-maintainer of feeds, and we have small module that Etten Group started to develop now for use of their apps in 8 and 9. I simply included, so in my project, which is...
Oh, so your introduction was through the Drupal module, the Drupal like process. Got it. Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
So I didn't, for our purposes, we didn't need to do anything. We just included this one, the Drupal spoons. And now if I want to see my results here, I look at it, I see green, and I don't look at anything else. I have from the perspective of the module maintainer, I want to see that it works, and that's all I want to see. And I can see that this one failed, and I'm like, oh, what's wrong with it? And something didn't validate. What didn't validate? I believe that, so this is the screen that I get when I start clicking through. I think that it was interesting problem where contributor, I forgot, contributor, maintainer, or developer was not validated through GitLab or something like this. So your account has to be, something has to be set with your account. So I just did a search, validated, and it all worked.
Nice. Is this something that then shows up in the Drupal issue, like the Drupal project page then?
No, it doesn't, because the end goal, this is a very big thing that is important to understand. It's both for contrib module maintainers and eventually for core, because for core, this is a longer and more complex process. So Drupal issues will not exist on Drupal.org anymore. This was a wonderful tool that provided, and Drupal.org offered issues way before, it was before GitLab existed, right?
Right.
And it was very customized to and optimized to provide results of everything right away. GitLab will not be like customized to that level, but it provides much more flexibility, and it's more consistent, and it's more maintainable. So results of GitLab CI do not show on Drupal.org issues, but they will be showing up on issues like they show up on Gin project. So let me put in the link. So Gin project does not use Drupal CI at all. And that is one of the goals, actually. Because at the end of the day, we want people to move off Drupal CI and get into GitLab CI. Let me make sure that I open correct tab, and then I can display it. Right, so this is the one that I was showing in the presentation. Share screen, share tab. So Gin project completely moved off Drupal CI. The issues are still on Drupal.org. So if you look at the issue, you will see the issue here. And so at this point, people will have to go back and forth if they want to see results. But because the plan is to move issues together with CI/CD tools, it will be consistent. Right? Does it make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Nice.
Okay. Any other questions?
No, I don't think so. Got about maybe 10 minutes left. I think about 10 minutes left. We could convene early, or if you have anything else that you want to share, Irina, feel free to do so. For
Thank
15.
you. It would be lovely to hear from people in the room, like whether the session was any helpful, any useful. I wonder, were there like 3, 4, 5 people?
There's 2 people in the, well, 3 people.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I love small groups. Why don't people ask their questions, or I can talk a little bit about core, if Greg has specific questions.
Nothing specific from me.
Yeah, nothing. You can.
I don't have
Okay.
anything specific, Irina.
Oh, I'm sorry. I can.
Oh, hi.
Hello. Hi.
Yeah, I don't have anything specific. I'm confident that the workflows will be good enough, and just curious as the specifics. And I know Michael has been working a bit
Yes.
with the team, so I feel good about that. But yeah, this was very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm very happy to hear that. We would love to see you. One thing that I would like to personally invite you to join discussion about how we can make it easiest for core team and security team to do testing. We do have a lot of feedback. We don't have a final solution yet. And I
Okay.
think it's going to take several iterations.
Okay.
And do you maintain any modules as well?
Not very well, but yeah.
So if you're maintaining some modules and you want to test out even with the default template, that would be very helpful to hear from you and say, hey, this breaks, or that doesn't work, or this is a different information that I need. I want to something different, because that gives us some time to address it.
Okay. Yeah, I'll see what I can do.
Wonderful. And yeah, especially with questions for security team, it's very important.
Got it.
All right. If I have any specific information or specific questions, I might ping you directly on Drupal Slack.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, if nothing else, we can convene just a little bit early. And thank you, Irina, for giving the presentation. I know the circumstances weren't the greatest, and all of our wishes and well wishes go out to you for sure.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been very lucky and very blessed, and I'm very grateful that that everyone's health is at a stable state, and so I wanted to also give back to community, and pleasure to see all of you guys, and thank you for coming.